If you like okra and own an Instant Pot, or if you just own an Instant Pot and you've seen those vegetables somewhere around and you have no idea what they taste like, I got you. It's going to be a very quick and easy recipe with okra, which is also known as lady's fingers or gumbo. It has this tacky juice inside, which I love, and why I personally like eating the vegetable of okra is because of its chewy, really nice texture, which I absolutely adore in the dish once it's cooked. Okra is really rich in different micronutrients. It's rich in magnesium, zinc, folate, vitamin B, and other compounds, which makes it so valuable and so nutritionally rich. So if you've never tried it, just give it a go. I promise you will find something new in it. Picking okra, do try to look for fresher okras, which are normally firmer plants, and you just want to see them green as usual, you know, like regular okra shopping. You can try cooking from frozen okra as well, which is readily available and sometimes pre-chopped, but you will have to make sure it's defrosted and it's dry before you start cooking. So apart from okra, which is around 250-300 grams, I'm going to use garlic, 1 medium onion, 1 can of tomatoes, already diced tomatoes, because I cannot find the good tomatoes around here. So you can just use 1 tomato, 1 ripe, flavorful, nice tomato. Otherwise, just use canned tomatoes. Those are maybe subpar in certain respects, but they definitely will give you more flavor and more taste to your recipe. When it comes to spices, we are going to use some turmeric, around 1/2 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper goes really nice with turmeric. We are going to use some cumin seeds and we are going to let them crack open a little bit in the very beginning of the cooking, so we are going to set them aside. And also we are going to use some ground coriander, some red chili powder, and for aromatics we are going to add 2 Thai chilies. If you're very spice sensitive, do not add those or try to remove the seeds. It's going to make the chilies less angry. As usual, we start preparing the vegetables in batches in which they would go into the dish together. So we start with chopping the onion, dicing the onion into smaller pieces. And I then just crushed the garlic and minced it as well. I find it this way to be the easier one. And of course, I'm slicing the chilies. I do not remove the seeds. I'm fine with the spiciness level. And now it's time for okra. My okra is washed and towel dried. Now I just need to cut it into pieces like this much maybe. And I'm just removing the heads where the stem is, and we are moving it into a separate bowl because it's going to go into the dish separately. And if you're cutting tomatoes, if you have a tomato, this is a good time to cut your tomato. Also put it in a separate bowl. So now for the spices, cumin seeds are going to go into a separate tray, a separate bowl, because they're going to go onto the pan first. So we let them crackle a little bit and infuse the oil and the flavor of this. The rest of the spices are going to a separate bowl, and they include some coriander, some turmeric, some red chili powder, and some black pepper. I used crushed black pepper. You can use black pepper powder, whatever you have. It might be also a good time to squeeze the lime, which is going to go into the dish last. I'm just going to be adding some coconut vinegar, so it's not very hard to manage when I'm cooking. But actually, when you use an Instant Pot, one thing is that everything burns pretty fast on the saute mode. So if you're not fast enough, you can burn your food. So beware of that, know that, and work with it. And now it's cooking time. So first we start with the saute mode. I added 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which is extra light. It doesn't have any distinct flavor to it. I'm adding it when the saute mode already is saying hot on the display, so the contact between the heat and the oil is not prolonged. So you don't want that. You don't want the oil to start disintegrating. After this, after the oil has heated up, you can start adding your cumin seeds. Add them all at once and let them crackle a little bit. This takes around maybe 30 seconds, but you will feel the nicest flavor in the world. But beware that after a couple of seconds, it's going to be turning into the burnt flavor. So keep in mind that you have to be really fast. This is why we pre-chop everything before we actually turn on the Instant Pot. Next up, we still have the saute mode on, and we add in the aromatics and we'll let them cook for around 1 minute. So they start releasing the flavor and all the goodness in their insides. Now it's time to add the tomatoes, other spices, and okra, and move everything around in this bowl and just mix it all together so it can melt together. And this is the time when we actually turn off the saute mode, add the lime or the vinegar in my case, and then we need to cover it all with the lid to start pressure cooking the okra. So you canceled the saute mode and then you're trying to close it with the lid. The easiest way to do it is actually to put the lever on the venting mode, so it can go down, the lid can go down and the lid can be closed. Then you turn it around back to the sealing mode and set the pressure to low. Remember, pressure to low for 2 minutes, not high pressure, low pressure for 2 minutes. After that, you can do the quick release. You're ready, and after the quick release, you open the lid. You can garnish it with parsley, with coriander, with some spring onions maybe, whatever you prefer, whatever you like. And here you have it, an amazing, warm, spicy. This is spicy for me. For me, it's spicy. It hits my spiciness levels just right. You can adjust it by adding a little bit more chili flakes. You cannot remove chili flakes, so go easy on the chilies if you're not sure, or remove the seeds. So, and now we are done. You can serve it with rice or beans, or you can eat it by itself. The flavor is something else. The flavor is fantastic. You can add a little bit of salt if you like your food to be a little bit more salty. Remember to know what you eat. It can get tricky at times, but it's really worth it. And of course, I will really appreciate your feedback as a comment or like. Come back to me with some feedback. I'm really curious what you think. If you're really up to it, please consider subscribing. This doesn't cost you much, but it means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. And I see you all next week.